5 minutes to say something about the Toolset. This Toolset is about distributed leadership, but that's not precisely what it's about, and I'll come to that in a moment. What we've, the team is University of Hertfordshire team. It's Amanda Roberts and I who have started developing this tool set. What we've sent and has been uploaded prior to this conference, this PLA, is draft 2. The first draft was produced in July, and we sent it around to a number of people, academics, practitioners, policymakers, to get some feedback, and we've had some feedback from them, and it's been very useful indeed, and we're grateful for that because it's helped us develop what is draft 2. It is an evolving tool set. There's a lot of challenges in undertaking the design of the tool set. It's one of the key decisions that we've made, in the light of some of the feedback and the discussions that we've had, is that the tool set is about distributed leadership for equity and learning. In short, it's about DLE. And that's an important decision to make because there is a lot of work on distributed leadership, and we've talked about that, but we've also said as a network that the theme that's running through, the focus that we want to appear throughout is equity. So it's about distributed leadership for equity. It's a tool set for DLE. And we have to say that over and over again and remind ourselves as we're designing it to make sure that it reflects that and not some other idea of what distributed leadership might be. We have to tackle the challenge of the audience. Who do we want to use this? It's aimed at policymakers, that large policy community, but also practitioners. And that's a big challenge as well. What we've done in the draft so far is thought about it in terms of the relevance to practitioners, because if someone in the policy community, as it were, is thinking about supporting distributed leadership for equity, then they need to understand, or it would be helpful for them to understand what DLE looks like within an organisational school setting. The aims we have in mind are enhancing the understanding of DLE. You know, if you want to begin developing it, or you want to sustain it, or you want to support it in a school system, well, you've got to have some idea of what it is, and you need to engage with that and what it might mean for your context. Another key aim is to enable the users of the toolset to reflect on their own practice or their own organisational system context. And thirdly, the aim is to provide concepts and ideas, activities that will enable the user to develop DLE or further develop it if they're already doing it. But the aims we're reflecting on as well, are we expressing them clearly enough? We have to think about that as we move through continuing to develop this tool set. The structure of the tool set at the moment is attempting to address 3 questions. Why? Why is it important to look at DLE? What is it? And how? How can it be developed, sustained, and evaluated? What we mean by DLE, which we're trying to express as succinctly as possible, as well as elaborate, essentially, what it involves, what we're saying that it involves, is it involves leadership being done by everybody in a context that supports leadership by all, and it reflects the core values of equity. That message needs to come through the toolset so that people can understand that's what the meaning. They can then think about whether they think it's relevant or if they want to engage with it. But we need to be clear about what it is. Toolset, first of all, the why question. Why is it important? Well, we're relating it and saying, actually it is important to things that are important to you as practitioners and policy people. It's important to learning, it's important in terms of enabling innovation, which is a big push for, and it's important in promoting democratic citizenship. So part of the aim of the tool set is to explain that, or to say something so that people can see what the point is. Then what? The what question. Well, we've drafted this to explain what it is, and we're thinking of tools that will help in engaging people in thinking about that. In essence, it involves a culture that sees leadership as emergent. It involves institutional structures that support leadership from across all parts of the organisation. It involves a fluid kind of social environment that people can work within and are supported and are respected. And it involves the core values of inclusive participation and holistic growth as human beings, because it's integral to learning, and so you must have an understanding of what learning is. And the proposition here is, without holistic learning, development as a whole human being, then you can't really engage in leadership. The how section, well, obviously sets out some ways or invites the user to think about ways that may help them in developing or sustaining or supporting DLE. We've identified a number of key levers, and I'm not going to go into those because I haven't got time. And then for each of those 4 core leaders, at the moment what we're thinking of is that we will have some tools for each of those, some more specific activities, ideas, stimulations that people can use, and we're working on that at the moment. What we will also have in the tool set are links through to further information where people can read a bit more. There may be things they can download, for example, and we are planning to have video scribes that people can link into. So if you want to know more about what DLE is, of course it can be read and there are the tools, but there'll also be a video scribe that you can click through to, a very short one that is another way of communicating something key about understanding DLE. And we'll have one for why, one for how, and one for what is DLE. That's our planning at the moment. But what we value greatly is feedback, critique, constructive ideas from everyone, and particularly policy people and practitioners, because the key point of this, and we know it, is got to communicate and interest people. We can write a paper. Amanda and I can write a 10,000 paper, if you like, on DLE, and it'll have lots in it, and it'll be very, very interesting. And we have lots of long words, but we know that that's not going to communicate with people. This has a different task. It's to communicate, inspire, encourage, and enable people to develop DLE. Thanks a lot.